little bit behind the scenes, like what it's like to put the vlog together.
We can try to do it.
It's funny, we've done.
They don't usually do that well.
Yeah, before Jay was here, I've done a couple of these, like how I do the vlog, like showing the camera.
And we've done two.
I think we've done, and they've done shit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like people, you would think to me it'd be very interesting,
right? And
I would love it.
Me too.
If every vlog, because Casey Neistat has done that. There's Peter McKinnon does it all the time.
But those are like people that are like story, like their whole thing is about cameras and storytelling, where we're like animals. So it's hard to break away from that.
But you guys will start to see, I think tomorrow
or the next
day. I'm always confused.
I think the next day.
Yeah, maybe I'm always confused about where we're at in the vlog. But we have changed the vlog up a little bit over the last couple days. Last few days, it's a little bit more storytelling and not as much me. It's more about you're going to see a lot more Lori, you're going to see a lot more Noah, you're going to see a lot more Jay the entertainer. Even Jay and Anthony, you'll see. We're trying to make it a little bit more like
the whole life,
the story of what we're doing, as opposed to me just talking about animals. And some people are going to probably be like, "Hey, well, just because of the animals." But the truth is that anyone can talk about animals. You know what I mean? I think what makes us unique is we have so much going on. We have BHB, we have the Reptarium, we do have music, we have interesting people, we have all this stuff going on. And most animal YouTubers, pet tubers, all the name, whatever, it's just usually one person, right? It's them and a few animals, Well, we have like 16 people on our staff or whatever, and we have a lot going on. I think that's an interesting story that I feel like I've neglected over the last 6 months. And so I'm sure, don't get me wrong, when we get into egg season and baby season and all that stuff, there's going to be a lot more content that's going to be like that, But that's, again, part of the story. But hopefully you guys will like that.
You'll see what we mean. It's like, it's really cool. I liked it a lot too, and it was fun to edit.
What I've watched, I've liked. So I hope you guys will like it. And it's a little change up. So we're always trying to evolve.
Rosie says, "Hi, Brian and Jay. Just wanted you to know that my Savannah kitten has not eaten me yet. I love the podcast, and I want to start a wildlife rehab and sanctuary. Any advice about to start an online schooling?"
It's tough, I mean, so first off, let me just say that, you can start an animal sanctuary, a zoo or whatever without any schooling at all, right? I mean, really schooling for those things are just academic, I mean, you're not going to really use anything you learn in school. You're going to learn everything on the job. It's much like I said. I remember Jay Brewer from Prehistoric Pets told me when I was about to open up the Reptarium, I was out at his place like a month before we were opening, and I remember him saying, "I don't think you realize how much you need to know to run a zoo." Now, granted, we're not the Detroit Zoo, and he's not the Detroit Zoo, but we're both reptile zoos, similar size. He's got a little bit more square footage, but we're similar sized. If we do this expansion, we'll have a little more square footage than him. It's no big deal. It's not a game. It's not a race who has more animals or square footage. My point is that and he was right. I did have a lot to learn. I think he might have underestimated me a little bit, like maybe I couldn't do it, because I knew I had a lot to learn, and I'm a pretty quick student. So we came up to speed pretty quickly. But we're still learning. We're still learning. I mean, getting Drogo the sloth was a huge learning curve as well, and we're doing well with that. So I think if you want, just make a game plan, make it happen, see what makes sense for you, and don't worry about like the schooling side of it. Just worry about like making your dream come true.
Sweet.
And don't get eaten by your. It was an F5, right?
Yeah.
I think it was F5.
Don't get eaten by it. Oh, and then Tyler said, "I'm from Wyoming, bro, not Montana." My bad, bro.
That's right, Wyoming, man.
I appreciate it. My bad.
Come on, man. We know that, man.
I totally
Come on. Tyler's our freaking boy, man.
They're all beautiful places in this country. You would be happy to live in all of them.
But he was talking about cowboys and stuff like that.
There's cowboys in Montana. When you tell me there's not cowboys in Montana?
There is not one cowboy in Montana.
Yeah, whatever, man. I bet you there is.
Only Wyoming.
Yeah, there's the only place that they ever go. Let Roses Burn says, did things change? Because when I went to Reptile Land, we got a tour by Clyde's son, and we held a retic, baby gator, turtles, and pretty sure he showed venomous species too in the presentation.
Yeah, I don't know. There could have been private presentations that I was unaware of. And things can change, right? They are AZA, which means they're really, really restricted on people handling or touching things. There may be certain species that they were allowed to. The majority of their species, they are not allowed to. As a matter of fact, the majority of the species that they keep now, they wouldn't, even their keepers would not be allowed to touch per the AUSSIE regulations. And yes, AUSSIE regulations tightened considerably over the last couple of years. So I don't know last time you were there. When I was there were no animals out at all, period. None, not one animal came out the entire time I was there. And again, I was there with the head keeper, Clive's son, everyone. So I would think I would have gotten pretty decent access, but that's not to say that they don't. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Still a cool place, regardless. I don't care if you're touching things or not. I like the hands-on experience, but I still think it's amazing. Their Komodo exhibit, second to none. I mean,
oh really? It's dope.
Fucking crazy. I mean,
they
fundraised like $250,000 for this exhibit.
Wow, that is
so it's
crazy.
like a $250,000 exhibit, and they were able to fundraise for it. I mean, they raised that money just for that exhibit. So
that's so awesome.
It was super cool. You know, I could only dream to one day do that.
Silver Cash says he can't wait to come visit, and he has otters in his lagoon every winter.
Oh my gosh! Well, just take a couple out and just bring them over here, man.
Yeah, we don't know nothing.
No, they're not Asian small cloud anyways.
Russell says, "Hey guys, it was a 33-year-old Blackfoot ferret. That was the one that."
Yes, exactly. Yep, there you go. See, he saw that too.
He's so smart.
Yeah, you're smarter than I am.
Yeah,
I said 30 years.
Yeah,
how dare
idiot,
me? Moron,
more dummy.
No, but no, that's a great story, man, and I love that. And I it brings up that interesting. Thought, right? Is do we?
Yes.
Just because we have the ability, do we do?
Yes, 100%.
Right now, with something like a black-footed ferret that is already in existence, why would you not? Right? But a woolly mammoth becomes a little bit more of a question, like, should we, and then where does it stop, right? I mean, like, and I'm not saying, yeah, exactly. I mean, does it stop at a velociraptor? Does it stop at titanoboa? Does it stop at, who knows, right? And I don't know the answer to it. My passion for animals and stuff like that says, bring them all back, bring dodo birds back, bring everything back. But I think that from an ecological standpoint, that could be devastating. I mean, if you think Burmese pythons in the Everglades is a problem,
velociraptors,
velociraptors are a bigger issue, and woolly mammoths too. I mean, where do they go? Where if we clone woolly mammoths, do they just live in captivity, or do we release them in the wild?
What about all of northern Canada, where there's like not a lot of people and stuff? You got a lot
but
of room.
Again, what is that going to do to the environment to release something that has already been extinct for a reason? That it went extinct, I mean, because that's the way Mother Earth meant it to be.
That's right.
It's a very interesting topic, and I could see both sides' argument.
Yeah,
and I probably
agree.
fall on both sides of the fence. There's part of me that thinks you do it. There's part of me that thinks we're going down a slippery slope. But I mean, who knows?
I agree with you. I think both sides are equally compelling, for sure.
Yes.
Pat Greiser in the building.
What's going on? I haven't
says,
heard
hey,
from you in a
Brian,
while.
just stopping by. I have been down and out for a while. Have not much energy for anything anymore. It's good to see you and Jay. It's great to see you too, Pat.
I'm sorry, Pat. And I really hope that I know that you went through some things with some stuff. I really hope you do well. You're a wonderful person, and we think the world of you. So Pat, keep that head up. Remember, there's brighter days in the future. Control the things you can control, and don't control the things you can't. And remember, the only two things that you control are thoughts and actions.
Yeah,
thoughts and actions. Thoughts and actions. So if you can't control it, don't worry about it.
You know what I'm saying?
And halt it. Yep. Hunger, anger, loneliness, and tiredness.
Tyler King.
Tyler, what's up, man?
He's crushing it today.
Seems like I just heard from him.
I know. He says roughies are about 12 to 1,500 mark.
Roughies? Yeah, roughies. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like I said, I didn't follow the market on the roughies, but they were like 7,500. They were 15,000 a pair just like 5 years ago. So 12 to 15. I would buy one for $1,200. I think they're worth it because they're cool. They're really cool.
Silver Cash said, "How's the pond doing this time of the year? And do you keep any koi?"
Yo, this is so funny. I literally was talking about koi to Jessica 10 minutes before the podcast.
No way, really?
Yeah. So, because she was saying we should get a koi pond here. We should do a koi pond, indoor koi pond. So number one, I chose. I don't know if it's smart or not. I chose to keep my pond running this winter, with the waterfall. Typically,
Shut it all down.
I
right?
shut it down. I put the pump deep in the deepest water so it doesn't freeze, because it can freeze and mess up all your seals on your pump. This year, I decided to let it go because I have a sauna in my backyard, and I like looking out of the sauna at the waterfall. It's been really cold, but the water, as of last night, was still flowing. It was not flowing very much, so I'm hoping I didn't burn anything out yet. I'm hoping that as it thaws out, it's going to get going again.
That'd be perfect time.
I do not keep koi, because every time I bought koi, herons have come and killed them all. So I don't know. So last summer we started the year with a couple koi. Left. That's all that was left, and they were dead by May.
Dude, those GBHs will crush them, dude.
Yeah, and so the whole summer we didn't have any koi in the pond. So I'd like to give it another shot, but I'm not sure. But I do love my pond. Lori, not so much.
Nope, can't convince her on that one.
Yeah, I know.
Girl with Scales says, I have a Ruffy, one of my favorite snakes in my collection. It's very curious, confident, super handleable. Amazing head scalation and eyes. Highly recommend.
I love them. I definitely love them. Big bites. Again, Johnny Weigel, the one that re-found them in the wild. He was a prankster, and he gave me a really mean, like 6-7 footer to handle, and it was at a reptile show in a place called Homebush, a couple hours outside of Sydney, and I remember. I would, again, American, first time ever in Australia, and I didn't have any friends at the time down in Australia. And I remember, like, he handed me this thing, laughing, and it just ripped me apart. I mean, it bit me and bit. It was on a Snake Bites episode. And, like, I bet 150 people were standing around me while this was going on. And I wasn't even flinching. It was just crushing me. I had blood just dripping down my arms. But I was so excited because I remember seeing the preserved specimen and then hearing the story of this. And then all of a sudden I'm holding one in my hand. And, but what ended up happening was that I made tons of friends. That's where the start of all my friendships in Australia, which some of them are my brothers. I mean, I love them.
They're like, oh, this guy's badass.
Yeah, these guys are fucking Yankee over
here.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, mate. He's fucking bloody oath. This guy over here. So I love her. I love him.
Pat Greiser came back and says, hopefully she can make it over here. She just needs to find a nearby hotel first and closest airport. And guess what? There's a hotel right down the street, and the airport is Detroit. Yeah, and it's right down the street. It's not that far. It's like what, 45 minutes?
Yeah, that's one nice thing about traveling into the Reptarium is that the airport's not super close, but it's not that far. But there's all the accommodations you can ever imagine. There's 30 hotels within 10 miles of here.
Literally.
And there's a whole host of really nice, like the Hyatt, a bunch of other ones that are. Two miles, 2 miles. No, that's the ones that's 2 miles away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right over by the Home Depot area.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. The Hyatt place is there. You've got Holiday Inn. You've got La Quinta. You've got Comfort Inn. You've got
Comfort Inn's where I stayed when I met you for the first time.
Yeah, and that's the closest one is the Comfort Inn.
It's literally right there.
Yeah, it's literally like a 5-minute, not even a 5-minute drive.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Silver Cash said, "Good to see you back on the skateboard in one of the vlogs."
Yeah. I'd like to do that more, to be honest with you. I used to skateboard a bunch. I remember that, Jay, like before you were around.
Absolutely.
A lot of skateboarding, and I loved it, man. But
I love it too. I got a longboard in the back of my truck right now.
I just haven't done as much of that. So I'd like to get a little bit more playful.
Yeah.
I think that we've gotten a little bit more serious. That's what we're trying to do. This change in the vlog concept is to become a little bit more playful and
have some fun.
Have some more fun. And that a lot of that, quite frankly, comes with my mental state too, right? It was really hard to try to have any fun at all for most of 2020.
I know that sounds crazy, but it's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like it was just like it's hard to do that and like put on an act. And we don't want to like make up stuff for you guys. We want it to be in the moment fun, Yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, I can say, I'm feeling more and more and more like myself.
Yeah.
The lights coming on, like life is becoming more enjoyable again instead of the grind of just like, I just want to get up and get the day over so I could go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Which was most of 2020, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Now I'm waking up. I'm even finding that I'm waking up earlier than I used to wake up, like wanting to get out of bed and start the day.
That's huge, man.
And that's
so
something
cool.
that that's only happened over the last maybe 2 weeks. That's been happening, and so it's starting to feel more and more like myself, and so hopefully we can get more just more playful and whimsical.
I love it. Silver Cash says, favorite pizza spot. Got to make sure I get the best when I visit.
Well, dude, when you come, we'll go out and do some pizza stuff together.
Tivoli's, Green Lantern,
Tivoli's,
Buddies.
Green Lanterns, Buddies. There's a place called Louis that's really
Louis is good.
There's a few other places. As a matter of fact, the Barstool Sports president was just in town. He does a
pizza thing, right?
A pizza thing, right? And he did like the best pizzas in Detroit. So we can hit any of those. There's something that's called Detroit Pizza. That's kind of it's
better than Chicago.
Yeah, it's like, but it's called Detroit Pizza.
If you've had Little Caesars deep dish, it looks like that, but it's better.
Right, because it's like there's mozzarella cheese is actually baked into the
crust.
outside crust, and it makes the crust like crispy. And it's just for so we'll crush Silver Cash. You come out, we'll take care of you on the pizza side.
Sari Whitehead says, hi, Brian. Did you hear what went down with ball pythons 101? Chris Searcy's statement about Texas ball python keepers. Yeah. They were on MJ's podcast.
So
I know nothing about that.
So obviously, number one, I will say that I feel bad right now that I didn't do anything for Texas, right? I thought about this. I really was out of the loop, to be totally honest with you. You got to remember, I'm not on one ball python group. I'm not on one reptile group. I really stay away from the reptile kind of drama, right? But that being said, I started to, because of the ball python 101 thing, and basically, I guess what was happening is we all know that Texas got screwed. Power outages, rolling power outages, people without, and they're not like us in Michigan. They don't have generators or
insulation.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I feel bad that I wish I should have been proactive. Is what I'm saying, is in trying to help those people in Texas. I don't know what I would have done. Like, I could have bought 10 generators and sent them down there or something like that, and just said, hey, rotate these 10 between as many people as you need, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could have done something. So I first off, I want to apologize to everyone in Texas that I was not proactive, and I just didn't even realize there was an issue down there until the ball python 101 thing. And the drama, I don't get into it too much, but basically I think that he made some statement, something like, hey, take care of your own shit, or, something on that lines. Like, it's not my problem that your animals are. It was something weird like that. And again, I'm paraphrasing, so please don't. I'm sorry if I'm out of whack. Point is that, he got destroyed for it, and rightfully so. He got negativity because he made a statement that was very uncaring. Animals were dying. People were losing their animals. It's a horrible situation. That being said, I probably, much like most things, he probably got way more hate than he deserved, right? He made a mistake, probably something he wishes he could have taken back very quickly. Does it make it right? Absolutely not. I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm saying that, does that make him the most evil person? And I think that oftentimes we overreact to these types of things. Doesn't mean that the situation isn't bad. Doesn't mean that the people in Texas didn't deserve better. Doesn't mean that, again, I personally am taking responsibility that I didn't do something. I should have, in the position I'm in my life, I should have helped Texas. And I feel bad that I didn't, because I really wasn't aware of the problem. And I wish someone from Texas would have reached out to me and said, Brian,
we need help. Yeah.
Because not only could I have personally probably sent $5,000 worth of equipment down there just for people, but I could have probably raised another $25,000 or $30,000 with my social platforms to help people down there. And I dropped the ball. And I feel terrible about it.
Oh man, I didn't even think of that. That's crazy.
It's just I just really, this all happened over the last 24 hours. That I was even made aware of it, I don't know why I wouldn't have thought of it. I was seeing things. But
I did too, and I didn't even think like that. Like, I didn't think of people snake collections out there, and we have friends out there that that have
that's
animals,
the weird thing, is that we have friends that have animals out there, and none of them reached out to me at all.
And I didn't see any social posts about them personally going through anything, so I guess it just didn't hit home.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But I did in the last 24 hours or so start to see it, and I think now it's just too late. You know what I mean? Like, I think that the power's coming back on, and things are rectifying, and I feel bad that in the future, let me just put this out in the ether here. In the future, if there's some natural disaster around the country, reach out to me, man. Let me not only help, but let me help by using my platform to help as well. You know, like I can personally financially help, but I can also direct, much like USARC I talk about. I think that, you know, it's a bummer that USARC doesn't use me to help their cause more. Yeah. Right. You know, I mean, why would you not? You know, I mean, I'm able to influence. That's why they call, you know, social media guys influencers, is because we influence people to help in areas that we're passionate about.
Yeah,
you know,
you have so many ears listening.
Yeah,
you know?
and so yes, I mean, for gosh sakes, you know, please reach out to me, and for those in Texas, I apologize.
And a good segue. Disgusted. Ace said, disgusted by proposed legislations. Been in some dark places in my life, and this hobby's always been a positive aspect of my life.
Yeah,
and it's a positive interest to take part in.
Yeah, you know, and we just gotta. Don't get disgusted, okay? You just got to fight it, right? You know, we can win. You know, don't think that proposed legislation means there's legislation.
Yeah.
Proposed legislation means that there's a proposed legislation. I often say that, you know, lawmakers aren't evil. Most of them, some are, but most aren't. And most of them are level-headed enough to understand that when a bad piece of legislation is being proposed, especially if their constituencies and people about them make them aware of that. So that's our position in life, is that we have to make sure that the legislators understand our position as strongly as they understand our opposition's opinions. And so that's what we have to do. I'll say this again. Typically, you know, an agricultural committee that's made up of, say, 11 people, typically, most of their proposed legislation will get 1, 2, maybe 3 people responding to.
Yeah.
If we can get them 2,000 people responding to a proposed legislation of reptiles, think about that. If you were in their position and you were getting 1 or 2 people sending an email or a letter or a phone call on legislation, and then all of a sudden your office is inundated with thousands of phone calls, thousands of emails, thousands of letters, hopefully all polite and well written or well read, you're going to think twice about passing that legislation, right?
Oh, for sure.
And that's why we have to follow like USARC alerts and follow the lead of what we need to do to overturn these, or not overturn, but stop them out of committee. Because again, best way to stop a law, don't let it get out of committee.
Damn, son.
Can we rail this in?